Hello everyone, today we are doing a scrapbook page that's been scraplifted using this Starburst pattern as inspiration. So I've started off by completing my initial Starburst. To do this, it is really simple. It looks really complicated, but it's not. You start from the inside, from the middle of your page, and work your way outwards to cut these strips, and then you stick down every other strip, which is what you can see me doing now. I will do a tutorial on this if enough people want, so leave a comment, and if there are enough, we'll get one done for you. I'm just lining up the edges around the edge of the paper, so the edges of the Starburst with the edge of the paper. You can see mine doesn't go right into the centre. Mine is a little bit more higgledy-piggledy than that, but that's okay because I'm going to cover up the centrepiece anyway, so I'm not worried. If you're going to work with it to be like, if you want it to be absolutely perfect, you're going to struggle because this particular technique doesn't lend itself to perfection. It doesn't matter how often you do it or how many times you try it, but this is close enough for me. And then I'm going to start matting photos. I'm going to work across the middle of the page, so in the centre, so that I cover up that gap where it's all higgledy-piggledy and not straight. And you know, there's a gap there, so I've got a few pieces of paper that I think will work. I've got a turquoise flower on a pink background, which I think is lovely, a gold and white floral one, and they're both from Maggie Holmes. And then I'm just using some paper scraps, a script paper, a little square of polka dot, just to create a mat for these 4 photos. Now, I spent a lot of time deciding where I'm going to put these particular photos. It's a bit of a pain in the neck to do. I fidgeted around a lot. Eventually I decided that they would work well on the gold, just to use that as a mat and then add those photos there. Unfortunately, I really like the flowers and the script in the background, so I really didn't want to cover them up, but you know, that's what you have to do. You have to cover some things up. And also I added a pink mat to one of the photos. So I eventually settled on this kind of straight across the page style, so I've still got bits kicking around, bits of the paper I mean, and then I've gone on to do some embellishment. So I'm just pulling out some embellishments I think might work. These were ones that I actually won from, it is Rosie's Studio, and they're really nice embellishment pieces. Some foiled bits and some not so foiled bits. I've got a large camera there as well. That's from a chipboard collection. I think it's a Prima one actually, but don't quote me. It's a really old Jenny Bolin label stickers. So we're going to have a play around with those, and I'll fidget through my embellishment box as I usually do, pull out things that may work and then put them back because I've decided they won't work. It's how my process usually goes. Trying out a frame there, again, didn't want to work, so changed it up again. And that's very much how my scrapbook process works, fidgeting around with things until I'm happy. Same with the photos, just to get them stuck down. And you can see I mess around with these a lot. That's why I use a repositionable adhesive, so that glue runner I can move things around with really easily. Bit of finesse required to peel things up, but it helps me a lot. As you can see, I've changed the orientation and I'm trying it again, sticking them down, and yet again I decided it doesn't work, so I went back to that portrait portrait orientation, having stuck down things, restuck and pulled up and restuck and pulled up. So yes, eventually I did settle on this format, and then by that point I've actually got a really good idea of where I'm going. The other thing I decided, because I wanted to see more of that pink and teal floral paper, I cut it in half, so there's a massive gap behind those photos, but the photos are covering it so it doesn't matter, and it looks like there's a lot more of that floral paper than there actually is. How to make your supply stretch further by doing that. Now the next thing I'm going to do is pop on and dig out some letter stickers. So I'll try out different letter stickers just to see what will and won't work. And as you can see, I've picked out like 5 or 6. So a lot of it is pulling off a letter, usually one of the ones that I'm going to use, and placing it down, seeing whether it fits in with the layout or whether I don't like it. Eventually I settle on one, same as usual, and the title for this is actually going to be Fucking Around with Filters, because that's what I was doing. I was messing around with them, and these ones were Facebook Messenger, I think. But yes, playing around with filters just to pass a bit of time of day and see what comes up. And you can see, we get some really strange and weird, wonderful, quirky photos from it. So I've got this gold, which, I've got gold in the background papers, in the map papers, so the gold letter is going to work well with that. I'm using a yellow font for the about and with. It's a nice contrast to it, and it works in well with the pinks and the teal. Is it teal? Yeah, I suppose it is a bit of a teal. So yes, lots of little letter stickers and a lot of playing about. And finally, I'm going to add a lot of pearls. So I've got these basic grey pearls, and since they're basic grey, you probably can guess how old they are. I'm going to scatter them around all over the place. And that's all there really is to it. Not a huge amount of paper used, just it's the Starburst that really does the trick here. Anyway, I hope this inspired you somewhat to make your own Starburst. If there's enough people want a tutorial on it, let me know and I will do one. If not, enjoy yourself and have a scrappy day. Bye.